They went to buy that property over there.
We never got the $30,000.
Paloma. Chowder's over here. And I'm sure you won't find any record of that either.
You better. Mary was mayor then.
Why, thank you, probably won't find no record of it.
All right, let's call the meeting to order at 7 o'clock. Roll call, please.
Richard Carter,
Here.
Max Russman, Laverna Chambers, Jake Russman,
Here.
Becca Bailey,
Here.
Vicki Wilder,
Here.
Donnie McKinley. Do we call Julie Stein? I don't know how
I
to.
don't know.
I tried to look it up.
Yeah. Go ahead, because we're going to have to.
Julie
accept
Stein.
Thank you. Stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. Pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thanks for standing, everybody. Okay, we need the approval for the minutes from the June meeting, please. Hi, Dale.
Hey. I'm late. Sir.
I move that we accept the minutes for the June meeting. Second, please.
Oh, I'll second it, sorry.
Any discussion on the minutes from June? Roll call, please.
Richard Carter,
Yes.
Max Russman, Laverna Chambers, Jake Russman, Becca Bailey,
Yes.
Julie Stein, Mayor McKinley.
Yes. All right, financial approval of bills payable for July. Vicki, do you want, Vicki or who does that? Vicki or Jim? Which one of you guys are doing that? Vicki?
So, that would be the third page of the June report. They're actually the accounts payable from June, that we are approving in July.
Third page in, accounts payable
The
summary
village
from the,
summary for June of 19 is. We didn't have very much this month.
this one's for, okay, I got it.
Okay.
So it's the very last one.
The last page is.
Can I ask a question before we get on the wrong? And then I just this always gets confusing, but I understand that they're from June, but we're paying them in July.
Okay. So we can change that. That's
No,
not a
I just
problem.
want
I'll
to
do
I just want to make sure that some people
Understand.
vote no for the agenda or the minutes because
that. Okay.
we're not on the same page there. So, what are we calling them accounts payable for the month prior or the month that they're paid in? Because technically those bills are paid in July for June.
So it says accounts payable for June.
And the reason why that I feel like, and I could be wrong, but I feel like that those are expenses that were incurred in June. It's electric bills that were incurred in June. It is the Harlan Visa card that was incurred in June.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at. If the board would prefer, since we're paying them in July to go July, I can update that accordingly.
I just don't want every month that
Right.
somebody vote no on the minutes because it's not matching what the treasury report says.
So accounts payable for June are for the bills been paid in June. The ones we
The bills we incurred
Received
in
in
them.
June.
And I can simply change the wording to say, accounts payable July for expenses in June.
Sounds good.
I'll make a motion to approve the expenses for June to be paid in July. Second the motion.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Richard Carter,
Yes.
Max Russman, Laverna Chambers, Jake Russman,
Yes.
Becca Bailey,
Yes.
Julie Stein,
All right.
good job.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Approval of the financial report for May and June. So Vicky's gonna take us through that.
Okay,
If you
so-
guys have any questions for her on this new report, ask her. I think it looks pretty good. We're probably gonna tweak a few things later maybe, but right now it looks pretty good.
So basically, the budget report gives you in the first column basically what you guys approved in the budget and appropriation ordinance. That's how it
This
is.
is the one we're talking about there.
So for the May one, I put in there what we paid out, whether it was payroll for elected officials, whatever bill that we paid. And then I've given you a column for the balance remaining on the, this is just related only to the budget appropriation ordinance, so you can see where we're at and if we're going over anything. My plan is to give you 2 months at a time because it seems to look clear on 2 months. So next month you will see July's, which will be grayed out. And then, sorry, June's will be grayed out because we've talked about June this month. July's will be the open one. Similar to this. Where this is May's, now we're into June. And I've only given you the extra copies because we did not approve anything last month, so that's why I got two separate. The income report, basically, what I have done with that is, it will match back to the deposits on that month's bank statement. So, in May, on the May 31st ones, which you guys looked at, these were the deposits and what they were for in May. The June ones match back to the deposits that are made in June, and I've split out so you can see our local share, what percentage. We get several things from the state. We get the MFT funds, we get the liquor licenses, the building permits, and I've also outlined, because we do get interest from the bank, so you can see what we're getting from the bank. And then your very last page is just a plan summary. It tells you what we're paying, what we received, and it gives you the account balances as listed for your review right here.
Which one? Which one? This one?
The last one.
The last one's the May one is what, I can get those, the May ones back out if you guys need them. I have them.
Do we have copies of bank statements?
Yeah, right here.
So, and then the copies of the actual bank statements are right here, guys, if you wanna look at those. Any questions for Vicki?
Oh, I just want to make a note on the June payables that we just did. You guys approved the 157. That Midland software is actually $67. I incorrectly noted that on this.
Run that by me again.
The June summary, this one.
Yeah.
So I always tell you what the 157 is. 90 was for, I know it should be 67 for Midland. I noted it as 57. Sorry about that. The total is correct though. The 157 is what we paid. Is there anything different you guys would like to see on there, or better, or you don't like? Is it clear and understandable? I know one of the things that Julie had brought up last time that I kind of listened to was when we were discussing the possibility of this getting the payroll software, she said, where's the money gonna come from? So that was some of the purpose behind you seeing where money is in the budget if we had an expense come up. And we could say, yes, we haven't used this, we could possibly take it from here.
I do have one question.
Yes.
When I'm looking at this for the 2019-20 budget,
Yes.
I thought we had started a fund for building fund.
I didn't see that on the copy of that I had, but Rick, I'll look and see if there is something for
Because there
building
should have
fund.
been like at least 10,000 in it at this
Yeah,
point.
it is. I didn't see them in the ordinance.
Thank you,
but I-
Rick. for figuring that out.
And I'm not sure whether we put into that for 2 years or not. But I know it's been at least one, or it should have been.
I think it should be two now, shouldn't it?
Yeah, that's what I'm
Yeah,
thinking.
because I've been here for June, it's been there since even I started, so it even longer, because it was before me.
Well, I don't think,
That's the only thing that I could find.
You
out
guys
about
were doing
what
it
you
before I
guys-
joined.
No, we
but I
weren't.
don't think it got in until the next year after.
Oh, okay.
This is what I think.
There's nothing on 2018 or 19.
It should be under expenses, right? Treasure, snow removal, state, postal, stolen, printing, transportation, disposal, lease, loan, inspection zone, financial audit, and property taxes. Building fund, $10,000. I'll make a copy, it's right here.
And that was when,
That was on the 2019-2020 ordinance. The one that we put with the ordinance that Larry gave us. I'll make a copy of it for everybody so you have this. Should have it, but
There's not a,
But there's not, but, so when, what you're saying is we're on slate to spend $10,000 on a building this year.
every year was the ordinance we passed.
When, was that last year before to go into, like 5,000?
It does
Wow.
say,
5,000 a year? No, there's 10,000.
10,000.
No, it's supposed to have been
10,000 a year.
10,000 a year. That's what the ordinance was that was passed. And the date we would have to look up.
Well, we don't have an account set up for a building fund for that.
no, that's what I'm saying. I think it's all under that, the big fund, the mutual fund. It's probably in there because we only, in the the big fund, we move into the general, we just pay checks out of that one account, and we move money into there, so it's probably lumped in with that. But if that's what you're gonna do, I advise we need to get a separate account for the building fund, so that's sitting there, but you're gonna lose interest then because you don't have as much in there as what we have in the money market.
Interest doesn't not too much in.
My main concern is
Yeah.
that somewhere it's getting put in there because we need a maintenance building of some kind.
So if you could, somebody would motion to add that $10,000, that's so we can accept
That
this.
should be by ordinance.
Okay.
I mean, if it's been passed, that's what I'm saying,
Okay.
so I just wanna make sure it's getting.
But I
done.
will update this and send you guys new sheets with the 10,000.
Alright. Any other questions for Vicky?
Thanks.
Moving along, we need a motion to accept the financial report for May and June.
I move that we accept the report for May and June for financial.
I'll second it.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Richard Carter,
Yes.
Max Russman, Vernon Chambers, Jake Russman,
Yes.
Becca Bailey,
Yes,
Julie Stein.
Motion
You
carried,
guys go
thank you.
down. Two
This
pages.
is one copy.
Yeah.
This is one copy, pass that one, please.
Jake already got one, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
Just with Max and Laverna.
Put that in the Vernon's file, please.
You got one, right?
Mhm.
You got one?
All right, moving on to the junk service maintenance. Nothing, village treasurer.
I do have one more thing. I just wanted to report that we did, but it's not reported yet, get our first round of disbursements for the taxes. We are getting, or it was, and it'll be in next month's because it was in this stuff. They gave us $13,784.27. So we are getting the first round of disbursements for taxes. And that's all I have.
Mayor. I don't have much. Issued a couple building permits, issued another garage permit tomorrow. The Reeves permit is taken care of. The Hasties permit is done and taken care of.
I offered to pay part of that, the Hasties.
The permit only came to $29, so it's already been. But yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, everybody offered to pitch in, but it was only $29.
Is he home?
Yes.
I have a question. Do you issue permits in the window?
Items for consideration and possible action. Discussion and possible action. Nomination of new board member to fill a vacant spot for Julie Stein. I think we have to accept Julie's resignation before we fill her seat. So I think we're gonna have to wait till next month to, but I think we can nominate. I'd like to nominate Jessica. She's willing to take a seat and serve. So we'll do that, and then next month we'll accept Julie's resignation and vote yes or no on Jessica. And then Becky Bailey wants to talk about kid safety.
You guys are not allowed to laugh. Okay, you are, but, no, this actually came from a couple of things. There was almost, like I said, about a month and a half ago, an accident on Jones Street. You said, I don't think you said you saw it, but, just, very simply, and I know even on this street, people have had to slam on the brakes, and chickens are becoming popular now, and I get it, and that's all fine, and, I just think we need to, just like we have some rules about dogs and things, that we need to make sure people have little fences up and there's not holes and that they're safe. I mean, I don't wanna see car wrecks, and I don't even wanna see chickens run over, and, I know there, I know that there has been some complaints about it, so I just thought we might ought to address it so that everybody's safe, people and chickens alike. And you own chickens, Donnie, so I would sure love your input.
My chickens aren't in the road, so.
Well, maybe it's like new chicken owners and maybe they need, I don't know, advice or something. I mean, I don't know, but. And I feel bad because there is one chicken that comes to visit me every day in my yard. He likes my wild bird seed and I would miss his visits, but I'd rather him be safe,
So it comes down to it's really your fault, Becky.
Okay. It's only one chicken that comes to
You're
my house.
putting the feed out and luring them across the road.
No, this one would come straight across the yard, but yeah.
Actually, I think the Dowdy's chickens, how about I just talk to him first and see if he keeps them pinned up.
Okay,
Okay, I know he's got it pinned back there.
all right.
We'll just see how that goes first,
Yeah.
okay?
Yeah, because I'm not looking to make it an ordinance. I'm not looking to make it a big deal.
Yeah.
I just want,
Or we can get him some little orange vests to let across that way.
There you go.
I think Rick
I
said we
like
could
that.
possibly.
I have a friend that actually makes chicken clothes. It's kind of a joke, but they do. It's a long story, but there you go.
Any other discussion on that? All right, discussion and possible action, the park situation, the basketball hoop should be here tomorrow or the next day. I talked to the concrete guys. They have no idea when they're gonna pour the concrete, because they're so far behind on putting up the spring and the rain. They are gonna give me a heads up when they think they're gonna be here, but it may be one of those things where they just show up and pour it, depending on their schedules. It's all, working around the weather for those guys. But those things are in the works.
Are they putting the
Basketball hoop's gonna get delivered just to my house.
Are they putting the posts in the ground for the basketball hoop?
That's part of the deal.
They know about that.
And it's only one pole though.
It doesn't have the 4 bolts on the ground.
Well, yeah, it will, but I mean, it's just one pole.
Right. But I mean, the bolts have to go into the concrete, right?
Right. Yeah, so that's why we wanna make sure that it's here before they.
I actually had given Julie the direction for that was supposed to be passed on. I don't know whether you got that or not.
I have not got anything from Julie.
So, well, I can get that again. I got that from their website. I'm gonna print off and give it to you, so the concrete guys do have it. I'm gonna give it.
And then, so that's pretty much covered. Somebody ripped the teeter-totter off the base. We have that in the maintenance shed over here. We're gonna have to either replace it or pay somebody to come down and fix it.
Is it actual concrete they broke or the teeter-totter itself?
So there's a base that bolts to the concrete, and then the teeter-totter somehow winds itself into the base, clicks itself in, but it's kind of sprung, and Keith tried to get it back on, but he couldn't do it by himself at least. So
Weren't we gonna talk about surveillance cameras or something for the park area?
Well, I don't know how we would do surveillance. We don't have, you'd have to have Wi-Fi over there to do that. So I don't know, I'm not sure, I don't know how we would hook up surveillance cameras.
You need Wi-Fi for the ring? I have ring, but I also have Wi-Fi. My husband hooked it up, so you do have to have Wi-Fi for
Contract with
ring.
like a company like ADT and they monitor it for you with the MS. I don't know exactly how that works. I'm just throwing that out there as an option. If somebody wanted to look into it.
Need Wi-Fi for everything.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else on the park, guys? Discussion and possible action regarding the golf cart ordinance. You guys read through those ordinances. Or what do you questions or ideas?
I have.
You like one or the other?
How many people you think this would actually affect, right? I mean, just that you know them.
Well, I think
Oh, you got one?
there's several in town that are riding around now.
My whole neighborhood is colored.
And then you
I
have
consider
that whole
buying one
They
if we
drive
could
on the
drive them
street.
on the street, but we
I
have
think-
never bought one because it's
I
not
think
legal,
if-
so.
if it was legal, I think a lot more people would venture into that.
But the problem is, we don't have any kind of police here to inspect, approve, make sure they're roadworthy. You know, we don't have anybody to make sure they're safe. So my only concern about that is, you know, should there be an accident with one, can somebody come back on the city and sue us saying this golf cart wasn't safe?
When,
That's my concern.
right, in both ordinances from El Paso and Hudson that I gave you to read, it's very clear in there that they sign a waiver that they cannot hold us responsible for anything that happens in their golf cart.
Well, I also know a lot of times waivers are not worth the waiver they're written on too, if you have a good lawyer. So,
Is it possible that there could be some kind of inspection process when you hold them a permit?
Right, that's,
That's the idea.
so when,
Because El Paso's had like a checklist.
yeah, El
before they got
Paso's
the permit.
a nice little
So-
checklist.
I think that pretty much would take us off the hook as far as when we licensed it was correct,
Right.
you know?
but
That's-
does El Paso have an annual inspection?
Yeah, every time you,
Okay.
every year you have to renew your license.
No
Pay your
different than
fee,
getting
and
a
then it would
license
be-
for your car and then having somebody break your tail light out. You know, or have a headlight go on or something like that, so. I don't think that would be a major
Okay.
issue.
I just want to protect the, you know, the city, that's all.
Is there an actual license that's issued in El Paso, like a piece of paper, sticker?
Goes over the, slow moving vehicle sign.
I didn't read that close enough, Don, and I'm gonna tell you that right up front, but my biggest concern would be a little bit of enforcement and whether or not we could actually issue like an ordinance violation type thing through the attorney if we had too many complaints or they weren't buying a license or
We can do it through the attorney or through the county, if I call it county. If
they
we
would
have an
actually
ordinance.
enforce it.
If we have an ordinance.
Usually the county will not enforce the village ordinance, at least McLean County would, Woodford may be different, but McLean County would not enforce any type of village or city ordinance. So it would have to be done basically through our attorney is what I'm saying, if we were going to do that.
And if we did it through the attorney, then I think that it should be in there that they incur our attorney costs along with that fine.
You know, I mean, a simple letter could maybe be a first
Yeah.
step.
Well, I'll double check on that county thing and, find out the details on
What kind of fee did we have in mind? A couple grand a year?
Well, that's up to you. Most people do 25 or 50 a year. And that money would go towards, you know, the park. We could use that money for park equipment or anything you guys want to earmark it for, or if you could just go in the general fund too. So it's up to you guys. Most villages and cities are 25 or 50.
Can we
The
skip
only
back for
cost,
just a
the only
second?
cost we would have would be buying the stickers. Put on their so we're moving some of these.
Can we skip back just a little bit? Did we ever get any mulch for the park? Mulch for the playground?
Mulch?
Yeah. Fill, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Alright. Just curious. Sorry.
Okay.
So, where are we at on this ordinance, or actually doing this then?
Well, I would like to see us just adopt the Hudson ordinance and then have Steve Mark change the language to change Hudson to Kappa. And then, you guys pick a price, a fee that you think is acceptable, and then accept the El Paso's checklist to, adopt their checklist for the inspection. I think would be,
I'm curious if anybody that is on the board has any serious objection to it?
On the question of who's gonna do the inspection, are we going to do it, or?
yeah, I'd do it.
In my opinion, go ahead and proceed and get an ordinance put together and actually vote on it.
We need to make a motion to have him
Make a motion to,
change the
accept-
language.
change the language on the Hudson's golf cart ordinance, and then we can change the language on the El Paso checklist. We can combine the two together, and I think we've got a really good ordinance and checklist and covered on all aspects.
I'd like to see you bring that to us then, and then that way we know specifically what we would need to change done. If anybody had a problem with it, whether it be what's exactly on the checklist or that kind of thing.
Okay, so it's okay for me to have that ordinance completely done, and then we'll accept the
I have no
ordinance.
problem with it. Well, maybe with a change or something.
Right, but we can
Yeah.
change it
And the proposed fees, so maybe we can get this done next time, so it doesn't come up anymore.
Sounds good, I'll have it done for next week. All right, thanks, guys. Did anybody read through is your community ready for recreational cannabis material? Is there anything we want to put in place, or do we not care? Do we want to have any fees or anything?
I actually attended that State of the State I had told you about, and they talked at length about this. And the two things I took away, it's not for or against, is that you really need to decide in your community whether you want to allow a dispensary. And I think the village needs to make a decision on whether they would allow that or not. Not whether you're gonna allow somebody once recreational passes, but the dispensary issue is the thing. Like, you really wanna get on board right away on whether or not you're going to or you're not going to allow it.
It's also revenue, just like,
I mean, and it is,
We have-
where
we
I'm at
have-
is it's revenue, but also I really don't want, I wouldn't want a dispensary as a citizen. But as a treasurer, I'm like, it's revenue, so it's kind of a 50-50 crapshoot for us, in my opinion. But I did attend that, and that was the two things I took away, is there were some legislators that were like, hey, this is really great, but that's the thing, is whether or not you're gonna let it in your village, and I think the village should, based on what I listened to and heard, you really should make a decision on what you want to do.
probably one that, like we do with liquor license, how many dispensaries, if you guys choose to do that, how many there will be, out of your street corner needs one, so you might wanna regulate how many their possible license will be given.
Well, the only
And then-
property that we have that's business is the Gentleman's Club, correct? Everything else is residential, correct? Or am I wrong?
No, there's a business district and an industrial district. Both, either or could be changed. And residential can be changed.
And they both could start selling CBD oil tomorrow and nobody could say a word about it.
Pardon?
They both could start selling CBD oil tomorrow and there's no regulation on it.
Yeah, but if they're selling it or manufacturing it or both,
Selling.
because that's a little different than manufacturing it. You know?
Well,
But-
so she's gonna
But
dispensary
what I
is
was
just
gonna-
selling.
Dispensary selling, but however, the state is gonna allow people who have a license for medical marijuana to grow up to a certain
Right,
amount on their
right,
property, and there's
right.
nothing you can do about that. Other than call the county if we know they don't have a license for that.
Not even gonna be just medical marijuana.
Yeah,
Right.
recreation.
It's gonna be recreational.
Yeah. But it used to be that they were gonna let anybody grow, but they have changed that. No, it's not just anybody. You have to need it for the medical purposes in order to be able to grow it on property.
Yeah, I would.
I
It's something
think
to
you guys
think
need to
about.
discuss it
Something to think about. And we probably
and
ought to,
research it.
probably ought to have something set up to protect us against it if we're against it, or something to tax it if we decide to let somebody do something like that. We don't want them to have free reign without being taxed if they do set up shop. So think about that for next month. We'll talk about it again next month. Before public comment starts, any other discussion on that, guys? Before public comment starts, I'd like to remind everybody that for public comment, according to our ordinance, please identify yourself prior to speaking. Please be as brief and concise as possible. Each speaker limit their comments to 5 minutes. And any comments pertaining to the village staff must be addressed in closed session as outlined in the Illinois Personal Records Review Act. With that being said, we're open for public comment.
Yeah, Mike Best. First thing, I'd like to thank you for displaying the flag of the proper.
Step back away from the table,
I've
Mike.
got to approach.
No,
Yep.
Mike, step away from the
This here's a
table.
request for freedom of information. There's 2 copies. I would like to have one signed in return by the end of the meeting.
Don't approach the table, Mike.
You can't stop me from approaching it.
I don't want you to approach the table.
You can't stop me.
Yes, I can.
No, you can't.
Do not approach the table. Stand up, say your piece, and be done.
Thirdly, excuse me, I had a buyer for my property, and according to my realtor, there's been a zoning issue. My buyers wanted to do something, and they were turned away. There's only one person that does anything with zoning. I'd like to know why.